What's up, guys? Welcome to Cage Side Connor. I am Connor. Today's video is going to be my UFC 322 predictions video. I'm going to be predicting the entire main card for UFC 322, which should be the UFC's return to MSG, the New York card that they typically do in November. So that by my calculations, me looking at a calendar, this card should go down probably November 15th, maybe, or November 8th. They usually pick one of those weekends. That is second or third weekend of November is when the UFC usually makes its return to New York. And yeah, I want to predict the card here. I was gonna do UFC 321, but it's kind of a little too easy now considering the UFC announced the main event for that one is gonna be Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. And so we only have two UFC pay-per-views left to play with for the rest of the year then, because we have the New York card, like I was saying, at MSG in November, and then the December card, which will usually take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas in December, and that should be the UFC's final two pay-per-views, possibly ever. I guess, I don't know. Dana White kind of walking back the comments now on if pay-per-view is truly dead when they switch over to Paramount for their new TV deal. So who knows? Pay-per-view is definitely not dead. They're definitely going to do another pay-per-view at some point. But this will be the last numbered, or the December pay per view will be the last numbered UFC pay per view event for quite a while, I'd imagine. Maybe until that White House card or something. I don't know. You know damn well they're gonna charge for one of these. The Paramount things is a little too good to be true. I just don't. Something's gonna happen there. Either Paramount subscription is gonna go up to like 30 a month or some shit, or I don't know. They're gonna figure out a way to make us pay to watch these fights, because I cannot believe that we will not have to in about 6 months time, not even 5 months, whatever. Who cares? UFC 322. Let's get into the video then, guys. Let's get into my predictions. Before we do that, make sure you subscribe to this channel, Cage.Connor. If you want more videos like this, I also do preview videos for the upcoming UFC cards. I do post shows for the past weekend's UFC cards. Recap my picks. I like to do a little ranking for the event, all that good shit. So if you guys want to see anything like that, go click over to the other videos and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Let's get into the video then. First fight I am picking for the UFC 322 main event. This one should be quite obvious. Khabib Nurmagomedov did a press conference pretty much spoiling what this is going to be before the UFC ever got a chance to officially announce it. And that, of course, is Jack Della Maddalena, the UFC welterweight champion, versus Islam Makhachev, the former UFC lightweight champion, who will be moving up in weight to challenge for the welterweight belt. Yeah, this fight makes all the sense to put on this card. I very much like that they're going with this kind of champ versus champ thing as the main event for the MSG. It feels big. It feels right. And I think we'll all be very excited for this. Jack Della Maddalena, of course, coming off the win against one Bilal Muhammad from back in May, in which that fight took place in Canada. And that was an awesome fight, honestly. Like, that fight really took me by surprise. I was kind of just expecting Bilal Muhammad to dominate here, and Jack Della Maddalena made it a scrap, and a very entertaining one at that. And now he's going to be taking on Islam Makhachev, who, moving up to 170 for the first time in his career. Should be extremely interesting. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if Islam's going to be big enough to hang with JDM. I don't know if he's going to have trouble getting takedowns here. I don't know if he's going to have trouble holding him down here. I mean, obviously, Islam, a very big lightweight, but is he big enough to move up to welterweight and then compete with those guys who are massive, especially compared to Islam? I just don't know, but I'm super curious to find out, and I can't wait for the UFC to officially announce this one. Of course, Islam riding I think he's on a 15 fight win streak right now. So he's getting pretty close to Anderson Silva's record. I think he needs one more to tie the 16 fight win streak in the UFC, which is the longest set by Anderson Silva. And so yeah, this will be his one to tie it, which is pretty incredible. And we'll see. We'll see if he can accomplish that. I expect the UFC to announce this very soon here. I mean, maybe even this upcoming weekend on the UFC 319 pay-per-view, they might officially announce this fight. And maybe they'll announce our co-main as well, which I am predicting will be Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang for the UFC Flyweight Championship. Another champ versus champ fight. I know Islam technically won't have his belt, but you know what I'm saying. another champ versus champ fight here. I'm predicting they stacked the deck with this one and put them both on the same card. I think there's a nice little storyline there. Nice amount of intrigue for people to get in and actually buy this pay per view. If there's two champ versus champ fights on the same card, so why not throw this on the co-main event? Valentina Shevchenko, of course, coming off the win over Mino Fedoruk, back at that same card in Canada back in May. And which she looked pretty good in that fight. Lost a couple rounds, but I think that was a fight where she was an underdog actually, and which is kind of incredible thinking back on it. But she was an underdog, and she came through and showed the dominant champion that she is against what was the number one contender down at the flyweight division. And of course, she's just been the longest reigning champ of the UFC women's flyweight division. Obviously, I mean that's like the newest division in the UFC, but she has multiple title defenses there. Definitely has already cemented herself as one of the best women MMA fighters of all time. Weili Zhang, of course, coming off the win over Tatiana Suarez from back in February earlier this year, in which she absolutely dominated her except the first round and was just uberly impressed. One of the most impressive performances of this year. It's up there with the best of them. Weili Zhang really shocked and surprised everyone on that one. I think again another champion that was an underdog going into that fight, and it was looking very dicey, especially after that first round. Like, oh god, Tatiana Suarez is really gonna have her way with the wrestling here, and Weili Zhang completely turned that around and showed just how incredible she actually is. Of course, she's been a long reigning champ in her own right, a double or not double champ, but she's captured the belt twice now. She lost it once, then recaptured it, and she's been reigning on top ever since. Both these girls getting kind of older now, so I think it's definitely time to do this fight. And I think MSG makes all the sense in the world. Put them both on there, put them on the biggest stage possible, and it should be fun. I think that's actually a great co-main event. Uh, the next fight I'm gonna go with then to keep filling out our main card here for UFC 322. Sean Brady versus Ian Gary. Sean Brady saying he has a fight signed as of recently. What is today? Today's August 13th. I believe he said this like a couple days ago. So Sean Brady saying he has a fight. Ian Gary, I think, is like a kind of the only viable matchup right now for him at welterweight. I mean, obviously, I would love for this to be Sean Brady versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, but it seems like Shavkat Rakhmonov is still injured and might not even get a fight in this year. Or if he does, he might get a fight in on that December pay per view. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I miss you, Shavkat. Please come back. But yeah, Sean Brady, kind of from the northeastern area of the U.S. He's from Philly. He's a Philly guy, so it makes sense to put him on the New York card, on the MSG card, not too far away from Philadelphia. Ian Gary, of course, Irish, Irish descent from New York. People love that shit. I think this fight makes a lot of sense to put on the MSG card. And it should be a good one. Sean Brady coming off the win over Leon Edwards, of course, from earlier this year, which he absolutely dominated him. Another one that sticks out from this year, where it's like this was an uberly impressive performance by Sean Brady. Ian Gary coming off the win over Carlos Prates from back in April, which he looked good, did what he had to do, lost that fifth round, but a good bounce back win for him after losing to one Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I think this fight makes a lot of sense, especially if Sean Brady wins this one, kind of lines him up for a title shot. I think against maybe the winner of Islam versus Shadiam. I don't know. That's funny because I can't even imagine like if Islam wins, Islam versus Sean Brady. That's kind of wild. We'll have to see what Islam would want to do if he does capture that welterweight title. Because I don't know if he's gonna sit there and defend the welterweight title. I guess that's a conversation for another time. Sean Brady, Ian Gary. We will see how this one goes, and I think it's a great fight to put on that main card as well. Next fight, then, I'm suggesting Davison Figueiredo versus Vinicius Oliveira. Davison Figueiredo, of course, coming off the loss to Corey Sandhagen back in May. That was in Iowa earlier this year, which he did not look very good in that fight. Not very good at all. But I believe he is still ranked like 6th at the UFC bantamweight division. And I think UFC is really high on Vinicius Oliveira, as am I. He's a very entertaining fighter and very big for the weight class as well. And I think we kind of just want to speed track him here towards the top as quick as possible. Vinicius Oliveira, of course, is coming off the win over one Kyler Phillips from back in the July card. I believe this was on the New Orleans card. New Orleans. Vinicius Oliveira won that fight. look good. Won 2 rounds there. I believe he's ranked like 11 in the UFC rankings right now, Vinicius Oliveira. So big jump up for him, but an exciting fighter that I think the UFC is going to want to get behind, and the fans are already behind. The hardcore fans are at least. So yeah, let's give him this spot. Let's put him on MSG. It should be a great fight, him versus Figgy, and very entertaining one to put on there. Kind of have your this will kind of fill the potential fight of the night you need to put on this main card for MSG. They always kind of have one of those where it's like this one's a guaranteed banner. This is my guaranteed banner. I think. Maybe I guess there's a possibility Figgy just kind of takes him down and wrestles him and kind of wins through the grappling, and it's not that entertaining of a fight. But I'd imagine it'd be hard for Figgy to take Vinicius Oliveira down considering his size. And I think they'd just stand and bang on the feet, and we'd probably get a fight of the night out of this. So do it, UFC. Vinicius Oliveira, Figgy. I don't know if Figgy wants to come back that soon, but hey, I'm just throwing it out there because I think it's a sick fight. Next fight, then, I am suggesting this will be the last one for the main card. Peyton Talbot versus Adrian Yanez. Peyton Talbot coming off the win over Felipe Lima. Adrian Yanez coming off a loss against Daniel Marcos from late last year, so last December. Peyton Talbot kind of hinting that he has this fight and has it signed already. It could be much earlier than that MSG card. It could be in October sometime, maybe even September. I would doubt it, but probably. I think it kind of lines up here with what Peyton Talbot's kind of hinting at. He said, "I got a fight that the fans have been wanting for a long time." Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but something of that sort is what Peyton Talbot said. And I think he's hinting at the Adrian Yanez fight. And I think he put that on an MSG card, especially to open the main card. I think it's a banger of a fight. I think it's a fun one. I'm trying to be a little like realistic here. Like I had a lot of different ideas of fights you could put on this card, but they're all just like it's too many. Like I want to throw out Anthony Hernandez versus Reiner de Ritter, put that on here, but it's like you can't have everything all on one card. I'm trying to build a realistic UFC 322 pay-per-view, one that'll actually come to fruition, not just necessarily throwing out the best fights possible and putting it on this card, because that's not the way the UFC does it. They need fights to fill out all the other fight nights from the rest of the year, all the other pay-per-views from the rest of the year. So you can't have everything on here. And yeah, I know these two aren't ranked, and it'd be a little weird to not have two ranked fighters opening the main card of the MSG pay per view. But nonetheless, I think this is a good enough fight to open your pay per view with. I think a lot of people would be excited for this. Peyton Talbot was still able to keep the hype surrounding him even after the loss to Ronnie Barcelos, and then of course he bounced back and won against Felipe Lima. And Adrian Yanez, just a sick fighter in his own right. Very fun to watch. And this will just be a banger of a fight. They'll throw hands. And I think we'll have a good time watching this one. Another one that could potentially steal fight of the night away here, but we shall see. We'll see when they actually put this card on an event. We'll see. It might end up being Octoberish, but like I was saying, hopefully it's on MSG because you could easily do that. There's Adrian Yanez flipping off Tony Kelly. Love that photo. Such a good one. All right. Here's the entire main card then. UFC 322, like I was saying, going with your main event, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Co-main, Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang. Rounding out the main card, Sean Brady versus Ian Gary, Davison Figueiredo versus Vinicius Oliveira, and Peyton Talbot versus Adrian Yanez. That's my prediction for the full main card of UFC 322. Let's see. Let's see if they do it. Do it, UFC. Just take this. Watch this video and put this card on November 15th or 8th, whatever it's going to end up being. Here's some prelims I was thinking about. These are probably wishful thinking, a little too good to be true here. There's no way these prelims would be that good, but a man can dream, right? Bo Nickel versus Jack Hermanson. I actually think that's a very good fight for Bo Nickel next. Kind of more of a grappler than Jack Hermanson. And I was debating putting the Peyton Talbot versus Adrian Yanez fight on the prelims and the Bo Nickel Jack Hermanson fight on the main card. I don't know which way they go with that. I figure since Bo Nickel's the one coming off a loss, they would throw him on the prelims. Got a bit of a bigger name too, but maybe they go Peyton Talbot versus Adrian Yanez as that top spot in the prelims because they kind of want a more exciting fight to sell the pay-per-view with. But nonetheless, we'll see if they even make that fight. I don't even know if Bo Nickel's going to fight for the rest of this year. Matt Frevola versus Islam Bonfim. That'd be a sick fight. Matt Frevola hasn't fought in a long time. Islam Bonfim coming off a loss, but that'd be an incredible stand-up war. Colin Wayne versus Casey O'Neill. I think that's a proper step up for Colin Wayne. Casey O'Neill, more of a grappler, so I don't know if they'd want to match Colin Wayne up with her. Colin Wayne's the girl that she's a former kickboxer, and she fought Valentina Shevchenko in kickboxing and won. That's kind of like her claim to fame there, and she's been in the UFC a little while. It's the Asian girl where she does her face up like Joker. You'll probably know who I'm talking about then. But yeah, versus Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill hasn't fought in a little while. I think that's a proper step up for both fighters. Good matchup there. And then Ryan Spann versus Muhammad Usman, because you always need a boring heavyweight fight somewhere on a pay per view. So throw it on the prelims. Maybe Ryan Spann just chokes him out. That'd be exciting at least. But yeah, those are the UFC 322 prelims that I am suggesting. That will do it for my video on the UFC 322 main card. Let me know what you guys think. What matchups you would make for UFC 322. If you like my matchups for UFC 22, let me know how stupid I am for if none of these make any sense to you, or if they all make sense to you and you just completely agree with me. That'd be great too. All right, guys. I will see you in the next video. Should be my UFC 319 preview. Should be going up momentarily here. So yeah, go over, click that one if it is still before UFC 319 fight week, or if you're watching this in the future and Hamzat's already won or something. I don't know. I actually have no idea how that fight's gonna go. Anyways, we'll see you in the next one, guys.